This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. No.
Y'all,
Just
this
stop.
is a sham. Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, November 17th. I'm Jeff here with my friends Erica and Al. Feeling good, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes.
Ready
down
to
there.
do it? Well, I'm hiding the sparkling water down here.
I knew someone was going. I thought you were
as
just
soon as the camera goes away, I'm going to put it
You
away.
were looking at me lovingly.
I am. I do love you.
All right. I love you guys too. All right. Brittany Spears is speaking out for the first time since a judge ended her 13-year conservatorship. Brittany posted a lengthy message on Instagram saying, since becoming free, she has been able to drive her car, use an ATM card, and saw cash for the first time in a while. That's crazy. She also went off on her family, calling what they did to her demoralizing and degrading. She went on to say, quote, "I'm not even mentioning all the bad things they did to me, which they should all be in jail for, yes, including my church-going mother." Brittany also thanked the Free Britney movement in a video. Let's check that out.
Because of you guys and the awareness of kind of knowing what was going on and delivering that news to the public for so long, you gave it awareness to all of them. And because of you, I honestly think you guys saved my life.
So, listen, I'm happy for Brittany, right? She's out. I can't believe some of the things. She hasn't used an ATM card, hasn't seen cash.
Right.
I mean, I think we don't know. We talk about it a lot, don't get me wrong, but I don't think we know the details on how deep this actually went.
Yeah, I think it's going to, and it's great that she's able to speak for herself, because that's what it's going to take to corroborate all of these things that people thought. And keep in mind, like, when you're talking about a woman, Brittany Spears status, no ATM card, no, she hasn't seen cash, she didn't have keys to a vehicle, she couldn't buy things when she wanted to buy things. It is so unfathomable that people were like, okay, I mean, myself included, was like, there's no way that this is true. Like, how do you believe something like that? But then when you hear it actually from her mouth to be like, yeah, everything you were saying was true, I mean, there's got to be receipts. Brittany herself, like, you can see there's an aesthetic, like, roller coaster that you can see on Brittany as a person. So for her to be able to speak for herself and talk about her full autonomy is, I mean, yesterday I watched the Brittany Murphy story.
Yeah. The Erica, yes.
And that was another thing where I was like, how does this happen? But the truth is, it happens. Fame, fortune, greed, power, it brings out the worst in people.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure Brittany will have her day to really tell her true story.
I'm sorry I had such an unprofessional reaction, but as you were talking, I started thinking about, because I watched the Brittany Murphy, it's called What Happened.
On HBO.
Yeah. What Happened, or Who Killed Brittany Murphy.
What happened, Brittany
What happened to Brittany Murphy. And it's really kind of the same thing. And as you were talking, Erica, you got me thinking. I was like, who more than celebrities are apt to have this happen to them? Because if you disappeared or Jeff disappeared, we're regular people, so like my mom would be asking, but like people don't see Britney Spears, people don't see Brittany Murphy because they're in the Hollywood Hills, and so you don't really see them in real life anyway. So how would you almost know if they were missing? You know, if you they show set and then you don't really know where they go after that. And so I think a lot of the rich and powerful that are already kind of naturally isolated from the public are more prone to have this happen to them. I know there was some weirdness kind of with Richard Simmons. I don't know. I know of another celebrity who will remain nameless, who I know, somebody they know, and this has happened to them as well.
Right.
When you're vulnerable and you have a lot of money, the latchers on can grab you and then isolate you, change your phone number, make it so your friends, your agents can't get to you, and here we go again.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be hearing more in the days to come from Brittany. It's a little worrisome to me that like she's kind of disconnecting with her family and calling out her mom, which she has the right to do, and kind of bringing in those fans. You know, and I think that's a dangerous place to be too, but we'll see how it ends up.
Well, I guess it depends on what her mother or father did, because right now it looks like some of her fans have had her best interest more than her actual family.
Yeah, but in the end, I don't. You're right. All right, let's get to some other stories. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend threw an epic Squid Game themed party. So Chrissy dressed up as the red light, green light robot girl, and John as one of the VIPs. Guests wore green tracksuits, and there was even a giant piggy bank. Check out the house. There was even a replica Squid Game leaderboard, bunk beds, and the stairs kind of looked like the show. There were guards in red jumpsuits that passed out cocktails. How nice. Guests also played games from the show and other kids' games like, hey, let's get a good game of pin the tail on a donkey going, right? All right. And this one, where they smashed piggy banks to see if it had something inside. But some people on social media, of course, slammed the pricey party as tone deaf because the show is about poor people risking their lives to be rich. What do we think about it? Just a good time?
I mean, can you do anything?
No, you cannot.
I mean, my issue with that party is I was like, where's the booze at, bro? I don't even drink, but it's like, I don't like, that's why I don't drink anymore.
Drinks in the red jumpsuits.
I know, but it was taking too long. Chef, you know me, I was the first guy in the kitchen, like, y'all have your little theme parties. I'm going to be in here handling my business. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys like theme parties? I feel like, I was like, this party had Erica Cobb written all over it.
I love a good theme party. I love it. Everything that we do has some sort of a theme. You know, when people say things like this, it's like, well, you know, it's tone deaf because of this reason. It's like, were either one of them born rich? Were they? Because I feel like the aspiration of life has been so taken away from us by people always being critical of the rich. Like, don't we want to aspire to have certain things, be in certain positions, but once you're there, then all of a sudden you're the enemy? It's like, I would, you know what? My aspiration is to be the enemy, if that's the case. Y'all can yell at me, y'all can say whatever you want about me, but I aspire to a level of success. I aspire to those things. I don't know why that's such a terrible thing now. Like, what are we doing if we're not trying to grow? What's that?
It's weird jealousy. It's jealousy, and it's people who can't do, have to criticize type of thing, and they're more ashamed of themselves inside of what they're never going to become, so they have to criticize other people. Sorry, but that's my take on you.
It really is, because it's strange, because it's jealousy sometimes. Like, it shows like the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I remember being at my grandmother's house in the 80s, and that was on, showing incredible, you know, Liberace's house and things like that, and people watch because they love to see how the rich live. But now it seems like there's also a dynamic that loves to critique how the rich live and watch how the rich fall. And I think in a weird way, that's why a lot of people also did take a lot of joy with the college scandal, watching a rich person go to jail. Let's be honest, there was a little bit of joy in watching somebody fall from their pedestal, which is part of entertainment as well. Watching our celebrities fall and then deciding if we're going to allow them to build themselves back up is kind of how celebrities work. We've seen it with Tiger Woods, where he was the butt of every joke, now he's okay. Brittany Spears was the butt of every joke, now she's a role model. It's a strange dynamic in a duality of thought that we have with our entertainers, is that we love them and we hate them and we love to hate them.
Yeah, we got a little philosophical about the whole thing, which I like. Yeah, but the costumes were great.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to commit, you should commit.
They committed. They went all in. All right, speaking of celebrities, one more. Lady Gaga is revealing why she never met with the real Patrizia Reggiani for the role in the film House of Gucci. Gaga showed up to the New York premiere in this dress, looking amazing. She told GMA's Michael Strahan she read up on Patrizia, who was convicted of plotting to kill her husband. Let's remember that, but had no interest in meeting her in real life. Let's listen.
I could tell very quickly that this woman wanted to be glorified for this murder, and she wanted to be remembered as this criminal.
So you've never met her?
No, I didn't want to collude with something that I don't believe in. You know, she did have her husband murdered.
I wanted to get to this story because I was criticizing Lady Gaga, I don't know, on this show or a different show, for not meeting with her, right? Listen, if you're going to do all you can to give back to this role, I'd want to meet that person. Now, I applaud her for not, because of what Patrizia did in real life. She's going to get interviews on big major networks. She tried to murder somebody. She was in a co-conspiracy to murder someone and went to jail for it. And now we're like putting her on a pedestal, making her a movie about her, not necessarily her, but she's going to get interviews and she is going to be fawned over. But if someone hurts your feelings, they have to go away forever.
But here's my issue with this, and Kabi, I'm going to make sure because I want to hear what you have to say. I feel like every movie that we loved, Goodfellas, those guys terrorized their neighborhoods. But watch when they blow up a building and walk away, what music is playing? It's a cool shot of like some jazz music as they're walking away. They just blew up a small business. They just killed somebody, but those guys come off cool. When you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, us as a society went and got our best looking actor. Leo DiCaprio to play a guy that ripped off old people selling junk bonds. So when we put these people on pedestals and say, oh, we can't believe they did that, we love that they did that. I love Casino. I love Goodfellas. I love Wolf of Wall Street. But they were terrible people, and they were shown in a really cool manner. I'm sorry. That's how I took it.
Yeah, you know, Lady Gaga has to obviously be cognizant of like what message she's putting out there, and she made a move that people were, you know, criticizing her for, but now, unveiling the cloth, unveiling, you know, pulling back the curtain. For her to say that, I think her choices have been intentional from the beginning, especially like living as her, using the accent, doing all of that. So if this was another thing that she added to her method acting, I'm all for it. I'm watching this movie.
No,
I'm definitely watching
for
this
sure.
movie.
But I'm glad I got that insight.
Yeah.
Instead of just kind of assuming that she just didn't want to take the time to do that, even though she wanted to be method. So that was a nice little tidbit I thought was interesting.
Really
all right,
cool.
guys, we'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Yeah, Al brings up an interesting point, because I think everyone in some way is to the gangster movie thing, because I'm obsessed with those movies. But also just if you go on Netflix and just put in death, because I did it for one of the stories, there's like endless stories about people who are in some way glorified. They're not, but they do have their own Netflix special about themselves. How many comedians do you know would like a Netflix special? Yeah. But these people murdered their whole family and their children. But let's go see what they're doing in prison. But it's kind of like backwards when you really think about it.
People are interested in, I mean, if you think about like how we don't say it, but like people, think about how many Scarface posters are up in guys' the offices and things like that. It's because people that seek power and try and get it in any way, it's weird. They're scary, but they're almost like deified, like, oh, this person was willing to go to the ledge for this. And that's why all the bad guys in every movie are really the people that are remembered. You know, there's no good guys on posters. It's always the bad guy.
Well, it's that fame or shame, it's all the same game.
Yeah.
Like, that's really the premise of that. It's like you are going to go down as, you know, someone to be revered, or you're going to go down as someone who was historically not revered. Yeah. I mean, for good reasons or bad. It's like,
who was the good guy in The Sopranos? No, people just talk about Tony. That's what you remember. You remember Omar from The Wire, you know, a guy that walked around, he had his own kind of street code.
But these are fictional characters, right?
Right, but they embody, I think, a lot of times what human beings aspire to. It's like, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do for my family to make it, to get what I want. And if that means killing somebody, I think people are at least okay to look at it.
Well, look at Snowfall. Like on FX, it's like, you know, that's a brilliantly done, like it's an amazing series, but Franklin is literally poisoning and destroying his own community with the crack epidemic. Like, people are rooting for him. Like, there's this, you know, strange dynamic.
I think when you're in the game, though, and you could I think like when you choose to be in the mafia. Welcome back to DBL. Actors in the hit HBO show Succession, which is one of my favorites, by the way, had to learn how to be super rich. The show is all about, if you don't know, a wealthy, dysfunctional family who owns a media dynasty, and one of the stars, Kieran Culkin, revealed the writers consult with a wealth consultant to keep things legit. Let's watch.
We do a fitting and we get there in the day, and they're like, actually, they'll say something like, these people wouldn't have winter coats because they leave their building, they go into a car, they leave that car and go into their private jet. There is no, like, strolling around. Like, they would have one in their closet, but they would never use it or wear it to go to work. They're taken care of all day.
So Kieran went on to say a few more things, like the actors are told not to duck under the helicopter propellers because the characters have been doing this their whole lives and they know where the blades are. See, little things like this. Also, the rich don't pack or carry their own bags, which I wouldn't like. Would you like someone packing your bag for you?
Yes, I absolutely would.
What?
Yeah.
I'm very meticulous, and I like to know what I'm bringing and what I'm not.
Packing gives me such anxiety. Like, the only thing worse than packing is unpacking.
Wow.
Like,
I love to pack my bag.
No.
I fold it up nice. And like, I'm kind of like, what's the word? I don't know. I'm very like organized.
Meticulous,
with it.
yeah. It's a weird dynamic, but like when I mean, we've all been lucky enough to be around somebody with money, and even we're not talking about that kind of money. We're talking about the other kind of money, because there's entertainment money like Culkin. Which one is that? Kieran, not Macaulay.
Yes,
they got some money, but they don't have the kind of money we're talking about.
Helicopter.
Like family money. Yeah. We don't talk about money. Money will never be an issue. Money. And that's what they talk about, that 1%, that even super famous people never understand what it's like to have generational wealth that cannot be taken from you. And it's a crazy way to live. It's fascinating.
Let me throw this on you. You're the person packing the bag for the ultra wealthy, right?
Right.
You forget to pack a toothbrush. Now you didn't pack my toothbrush? What are you saying in your head when you're walking to the store to get a toothbrush? Why don't you pack your own toothbrush, right?
You're not walking to the store. that toothbrush is gold, and there's only 11 of them in the world.
Okay, nobody's using a gold toothbrush. Y'all stop. Nobody's using a gold toothbrush,
and I would never get to a point where someone's packing my underwear in my bag.
I could get to that point.
What?
At this point, first of all, I do not limit the manifestation, okay? I'm never going to cut off my manifestation. Like, you know what? The gold toothbrush might be too much. No, I'm going to aspire for the gold toothbrush. First of all, because no one has a gold toothbrush. And secondly, because if I fall short of the gold toothbrush, I don't feel like I have really, disappointed myself in the world, That could still be a win for me.
I hope the next vacation you go on, you forget your toothbrush.
It's happened. And then you know what I do? I just call downstairs and they send a toothbrush up.
Somebody that works for you calls downstairs, Erica. You don't know how to do the calling. Super rich.
Yeah,
I use the phone.
I will use the phone and call. Yeah, because I need it now. Yeah, I need it right now.
Man, you guys are bougie. Coming up on DBL, comedian Kim Whitley stopped by DBL. She dishes on her relationship with lookalike Jack A. Harry.
Is now recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? First, we could confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise 2-fold, 3-fold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear there was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J, followed by one of the mRNA vaccines, gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also, Dr. Adalja points out that antibodies are just one way to measure immunity. So we can verify that yes, this graphic is based off of real numbers from the NIH, and so far it shows that an mRNA booster will create the most antibodies, especially if your original shot was Johnson & Johnson.
Welcome back to DBL. It's the most wonderful time of the year, snow, mistletoe, and the most delicious family recipes. And to get us into the holiday spirit, we chatted with the lovely Kim Whitley about her new holiday food show. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Please welcome the lovely Kim Whitley.
Yeah.
Look at, and she decorated too, you guys.
I'm ready to go.
I know. So she's going to be chatting all things holiday on the upcoming show, The Big Holiday Food Fight. So Kim, before we get into everything holiday, let's talk about, a lot of our viewers actually wrote in about this, about your celebrity lookalike, Jackée Harry. Now, what they may not know is that you guys are really good friends, but you said in the past that she did not like you back then. Why is that?
Oh my God, I love the picture. Well, this is the thing. You know, I was young. I came into Hollywood when she was at the height of her career. And I look at it like if somebody came in right now looking like me, coming on the set, you know, I might be a little intimidated. But, you know, it was a rocky road at first because we didn't know each other. And it's true, I wasn't trying to take her place, but I wanted to be in her place. I wanted to be where she was. And, but we're friends now. We laugh about it. You know, and that's why I always wear my hair lighter. So people, because when I wear it dark, it is absolutely Jackée. Jackée knows, she says the same thing. When people come up and say, can I take a picture? We just agree. We don't argue with people anymore. We sign autographs.
Right.
Yeah, it's too much.
That's smart. Just roll with it, right? Kim.
Right. She said she's even gotten some dates.
Oh, okay. First of all, I love that y'all are friends now because there's enough room at the table for all of us, sis. I am so excited to talk to you right now. I just love you, okay? Now, the holidays.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is everything. The holidays bring out the best and the worst in all of us. I know it does for my family. So what's the craziest thing that happened to your family during the holidays?
I don't think I can talk about that right now. You know, there's so many, because there's emotions, there's so much going on during the holidays. But I think, you know, one time we went skiing, during the holidays, and my brother, he skis, but he didn't. We were young, but he decided to go up on one of those jumps, you know, those little jump things. He's not a professional skier. What's wrong with you? He jumps off one of those things, lands straight on his face, and he's just laying there. And we're all like, what's wrong with him? We go over and we pick him up, and he lets out, he just, he said he couldn't breathe until we lifted him up. He's about to die. So he will never do that. That craziness.
Wow. Kim, I could relate to the look-like thing. Everyone's like, are you John Stamos? And I'm like, here, just here, I'm John Stamos.
Okay.
But let's talk about your show.
Humble brag, a very humble brag.
Let's talk about your show, The Big Holiday.
I was thinking George Clooney. I was really thinking
That would have been a humble brag. But listen, John Stamos, I mean,
come on.
It's just a good one. All right, let's talk about The Big Holiday Food Fight. Tell us about the celebrity judges. Who was the naughtiest and who was the nicest?
Oh, well, you know, the naughtiest judge of all was James Wright Chanel. If people don't know who he is, but you think about Patty Pies, he went viral by singing about Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pies. He is so funny and so good. He can sing, he can cook. He was the naughtiest. Gina Neely, fantastic. Yes. She's a real chef. And then Darnell Ferguson, super chef, another real chef. And then there's me, who can't cook at all, but I can eat.
That's okay, Kim. I can't cook either. Well, we are so excited for the Big Holiday Food Fight.
Good cook, cleans as they go.
Stay over there in your lane. Thank you so much, Kim. We're huge fans over here. If you're ever in Denver, come join us. We love you. Happy holidays.
I will. Thank you so much. I'm a fan, too. Why my hands look so big?
Bye, Kim. Right. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
It's no secret, you're paying more at the grocery store for everyday items. But exactly how much is a big point of discussion on social media. Take this video on Twitter from CNN with more than 5 million views, where a family of 9 claims the price of milk is up 40%. So, let's verify. Did the nationwide average price of a gallon of milk go up 40% this year? Our sources are the Center for Dairy Excellence and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Earlier this year, the family says they were paying $1.99 for a gallon of milk, and the current price is $2.79. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics says the cheaper price was far below average.
That just doesn't accord either with our data or certainly with my personal experience. I think I'd have to go back a long time to think of a gallon of milk below $2.
The BLS tracks the national average of several grocery staples and says in September 2020, milk was $3.45 a gallon. A year later, the price was $3.59, an increase of 4%.
That segment sort of made it sound like inflation was driving that solely responsible for driving the cost of that increase, then that's simply not true.
The Center for Dairy Excellence says everything from freight to processing to packaging and even a retailer markup all contribute to the increase. Meanwhile, the CDE says the price farmers actually get for their milk has remained steady over the last year at $1.56 a gallon. So it's false that the nationwide average price of a gallon of milk is up 40% this year. The CDE recommends shoppers watch for deals because some retailers are starting to take a lower cut from milk sales just to keep shoppers coming through the doors. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email.
There's a claim circulating online about the contagiousness of people who catch COVID-19 after being vaccinated. Maybe you've heard it or seen it. Basically, the claim is vaccinated and unvaccinated people who get COVID-19 are equally contagious. So let's verify. Is this true? To find out, we went to Dr. William Schaffner, an infectious diseases expert from Vanderbilt University's Medical School, Dr. Amish Adalja, an epidemiologist from Johns Hopkins University, and the CDC. We have these two studies sent to us by the CDC. They estimate how much virus is detected in infected people, and they found that the level of virus in vaccinated and unvaccinated people appears similar. However, that's not the whole story on contagiousness.
Vaccinated people and unvaccinated people have comparable levels of virus in their throats, so they can both spread. One of the good things about being vaccinated is this duration of shedding of the virus is shorter if you're vaccinated.
As you can see, this isn't a simple yes or no. So here's what we know about the contagiousness of the virus. If vaccinated and unvaccinated people get infected, they can have the same levels of the virus in them. However, a vaccinated person will spread the virus for a shorter period of time, which would make them technically less contagious overall.
Welcome back to DBL. It's open enrollment season, and if you're still shopping for healthcare plans, be on the lookout for scams. It's time for some helpful tips presented by Health Market. So, when you're shopping for health coverage, be on the lookout for plans that don't meet the minimum requirements of the Affordable Care Act. Misleading practices might lure you in, but these plans won't cover pre-existing conditions, and they could expose you to massive medical bills. Health Markets can help you find a plan in minutes. Just call 800-390-9633 or log on to healthmarkets.com to learn more. I ran out of time, but I had a funny little gold toothbrush thing. We'll see you guys tomorrow.